So if you exclude the highlighter inks, this will be the final Pelikan 4001 bottled fountain pen ink that we're going to be reviewing here on the channel. Here we have Pelikan 4001 Blue Black. Now, getting this bottle of ink was a little bit of a journey. Every time I tried to find it, it was sold out. I could have bought it in Europe, but every time I tried to buy it over in Europe, it was also sold out. Then I finally got lucky and I was doing an Amazon order for some toys for my dogs, and this was in stock. So I went ahead and got the first bottle I could. 3 days later, it showed up, and I think I may have finally found the perfect blue-black ink for me. And that's rather interesting considering I have a bottle of Marozan Athena Eternal Blue sitting 2.5 feet from me as I do this voiceover. This ink is that good, at least to me. And I know I've said it in each of the 4001 videos that I've done, this is a beautiful bottle, and especially the 60ml bottles. They're so big that you really don't have to worry about a pen not fitting into the bottle when you go to fill it, and that is huge. I mean, case in point, after filming this video with the Pelikan M600, I went to go fill it with Diamine Aqua Lagoon. Now, those 30ml bottles are so small that the pressure buildup of the M600 section barely fitting into the bottle caused an ink overflow, and that's just no good. All bottle drama aside though, let's take a look at the color. And one of the first things you're going to notice here is that this is a good example of a blue-black ink without an ink that just completely fades to black. And what I mean by that is, as you can see here on the ink blot, we've got a nice mid-blue start going into some nice midnight blues before just teetering on the edge of black without quite getting there, and that really does make for a good effect. But there is one area where that can cause a little bit of a bad time, and that would be in the dry time area. So out of a broader nib, which with this FCI it comes out more like a medium to a Yovo broad, you're going to be looking at more than 30 seconds of dry time. Now, when you bring that to a much finer line, an extra finer of fine, you're still over 15 seconds. And with these darker inks, you're going to notice that slower dry time, especially on papers like Tomoe River paper. But that's really not a doom and gloom situation for this particular ink. I mean, one thing that we get out of all of the Pelikan 4001 inks, except for Brilliant Red, I hate that ink, is good lubrication and amazing flow. I'm having no hard starting issues with Blue Black, and just the experience I'm getting, especially from this custom grind, is a writer's dream, and I can't emphasize that enough. Sure, it's got the slow dry time, but I think the writing experience as a whole really helps make up for that. But let's go ahead and move over to the water sample to see what kind of performance we get there. And one side note while we get the water going onto the Rhodia dot pad here, when I was writing, I did notice that the ink at least looked like it was drying quicker as I was writing on Rhodia, so the slow dry time may be a Tomoe thing. Anyways, enough me, let's get to the water sample. Okay, yeah, that pretty much seals the deal. Getting used to the new camera, the water sample actually took about 7 to 8 minutes to film, so the water had plenty of time to be sitting on the paper while I was doing that, and this is an amazing result. So Pelikan Blue Black may actually have just become my favorite Pelikan ink over turquoise, and that's saying something. So let's talk final thoughts. Now, this is going to be rather quick because my final thoughts have actually been sprinkled throughout the entire video. I think this ink has a beautiful color profile. For a blue-black, yeah, it's straightforward, but that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a document ink that isn't just boring black. And you've got that here in spades. It's a good value. I think this bottle was only $10 shipped on Amazon, and that's really good for 60 ml. It's got amazing water performance. It's very well lubricated. If I had to pick something wrong, it's the dry time. I'd love to see a blue-black that actually dried in a broad nib on Tomoe River paper under 20 seconds. But at that point, I'm pretty much asking for $1 million in unmarked bills, so we might as well not even go there. That being said, yeah, this just replaced Athena Eternal Blue as my favorite blue-black. And as far as the Pelikan inks go, I'm gonna have to go back to turquoise just for a little bit to see, but this one may have just unseated the reigning champion of favorite Pelikan inks, if not inks in general. So that's gonna require a lot of soul searching. And I'm gonna go do that now. So thank you for watching, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, follow the channel on Twitter and Instagram, and support the channel and the podcast 2 Guys Zero Planners at my Patreon link down below. Thank you for watching, I'll see you next week.